I'm going to be answering a particular question today, which is, what happens to your royalties after you die? Where do they go after you've passed away? And the answer is quite simple, but it's a little bit pregnant. And so I will explain it because there are different unique situations. So ideally, you will expect that your royalties are supposed to go to your family, right? But unfortunately, that's not what happens. So we're going to start from your record deal. What kind of record deal have you signed, right? Is it a lifetime deal in the sense that when you signed for your royalties, did it state that your royalties were lifetime royalties? Now that sounds very enticing, but that means that it stops when you die. It stops with you. And we know that in the spirit of public domain, we know that after you are dead or after you've passed away, you can still have copyright and your royalties will still keep coming in for at least between 50 to 70 years, depending on the country that you are registered in. So with that in mind, you want to protect that 50 or 70 years after your death as much as you're protecting your lifetime. So whenever you see lifetime royalties, just beware. That's number one. Number two, are you signed to rights management organizations? And by rights management organizations, I mean like royalty collectors. So do you have a PRO, that's a publishing person or a publishing organization? Do you have an MRO, that's the organization that collects mechanical rights? Do you have an NRO, an organization that collects neighboring rights royalties? What about your sync deals? What kind of contracts have you signed? So you have to ensure that you actually have organizations and people that are in charge of collecting royalties for you, not just you yourself. Because I mean, apart from the fact that after you die, there's a particular period of time when you want your family to collect, you can also become incapacitated in this life. So you can be alive and be unable to do anything. For instance, you could be in a coma, and some of those things may be the only source of income that you have at that particular point, especially if you have developed it well. In the sense that maybe the way you make your money is by actively doing music, right? If you die, or should I say, if you get sick, and let's say you are in a coma or something and you're unable to do anything to make more money, that may be the only way your family can actually raise money to take care of you. And with that in mind, you have to ensure that you are registered in the right places. Now, the next thing to take note of after registering in all those places is to ensure that you're not the only one that knows your login details. You get? So registering with all those organizations, have people that are administering it for you, and ensure that you have a next of kin that those people are aware of, so that if there's any issue, they will reach out. Let's say they are not able to contact you for up to like 3 months, right? Or maybe 6 months or up to a year. They can reach out to your next of kin and say, what's up? This person has not been collecting his money, or this person has not been giving responses, especially if you're in the habit of acknowledging all your emails whenever they tell you they've sent or they've paid up for that particular quarter. Ensure that your next of kin is also aware of all your sources of income. Now, you don't necessarily have to tell them upfront outrightly, but in the event that something happens to you, there should be like an automatic email. You should have a lawyer, of course, who can at least send instructions to your next of kin and say this. If something happens to me, if I'm in a coma, if I'm in a stroke, these are the places that you can collect money from. This is how much I am entitled to. By the time you have all those things in place, then you can say that for a fact that you are taking care of your family after you have passed, or even while you are still alive, taking care of your family and also taking care of yourself. But remember that our initial question is, where does your royalty go after you have passed? So ideally, it should go to your family. But if you don't put these things in place, then it may go to other people, or it may just hang. Now, when I say it may just hang, this is even the worst according to me, out of all of them. And this hanging of your royalties is called black box. So basically, your royalties go into the black box and become black box royalties when you do not claim them after a particular period of time. Now, it's very possible that you do not register with any of those organizations. It's possible that you have not done any of the things that I have said to do. And you make music, you release the music, the only money you collect is the royalties from the streaming platforms that you upload your music on. What happens to all the other money you're making? Your neighboring rights royalties, they hang. Your performance rights royalties, that's basically your publishing, it hangs. Your mechanical royalties, it hangs. Any synchronization deal that somebody may have slotted in your music on your behalf and probably costing money, it's hanging. Well, technically, it doesn't just hang, it goes into the black box, into the black hole. And the problem with the black hole is that it doesn't just disappear. I mean, money cannot just disappear. What happens is that it gets allocated to other people. And since you've refused to claim it, you do not really have a say, or it's difficult for you to be able to determine who exactly gets paid these monies. It could be major record labels, it could be minor record labels, it could be publishers, or it could be anybody that particular platform has decided to give the money to. So as a musician, as a composer, I want you to be very conscious of the fact that you need to collect your royalties. You need to be able to hold on to them and know that your royalties will actually go to places that you will not be very happy with after you die if you do not take the correct steps. So I'll just rehash and go through everything again. First of all, it doesn't necessarily go to your family because you need to put some things in place first. If you've put those things in place, ensure that you don't sign lifetime contracts whenever you're signing record deals. And lastly, actually register with all the platforms that you need to register so that your music doesn't go into the black hole. And make sure that other people have access to your login details and the rest, especially after you're dead. Make sure that you have like a will, or at least a video will stating in details, this is my password to this is how you can get access to this is how much I have here, this is how much I'm supposed to be getting. For instance, if I have 100,000 streams, this is the expected amount of money that I should be getting. By the time you have detailed instructions like that, whether in a trust or in a will, depending on the laws of the country that you are in, then for a fact you can say that when you die, your royalties will go to your family or whoever you think is your family. If you would like to know if you're actually collecting all your royalties or just some of them, type royalties in the comment section and I'll send you a link to take a quiz and find out. Bye.